For park parties, a second weekend of crowds at Washington Square Park brings out the police and raises concerns about coronavirus. And that's where we begin on this Saturday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Adam Cooperstein.
And I'm Gilma Avalos. And when you take a look at this video, it's hard to believe that we are still in a pandemic here. Crowds close together, many people not wearing masks, and experts have warned gatherings like this are a perfect breeding ground for COVID-19.
Back-to-back weekends now of partying like that at Washington Square Park. It's raising concerns that these parties could lead to an uptick in cases and spreading COVID-19. It comes on the heels of spikes at college campuses around the country, too. And just moments ago, NYU announced new measures to protect students. News 4's Rana Navini live at the park now with the details on this. Rana.
Yeah, Adam and Gilma, an NYU spokesperson says, of course, it's okay for students to go to the park to enjoy themselves, but they are concerned about reports in that video of crowds, many of them students here, not wearing masks, not social distancing. They're so worried, in fact, that even though they don't technically have jurisdiction over the park, they say they'll be sending out public health ambassadors to remind people of the rules. The atmosphere joyous, with crowds of people singing and dancing into the early morning hours Saturday in Washington Square Park.
People are obviously starved for entertainment. I just feel like more people should be wearing masks, like honestly.
While some wore masks and practiced social distancing, many didn't.
This is harmless. Honestly, it's harmless. I love it, and I'm so happy I'm here to experience it.
But the NYPD didn't agree, finally dispersing the crowd around 1:30. The crowd eventually left, leaving behind piles of trash, including empty bottles of alcohol. At least one student at nearby NYU says she doesn't like what she sees.
I do feel bad for the freshmen, that it's hard for them to make friends, but this behind us is not the answer to that.
It's unclear how many in the crowd were NYU students back for the fall semester, but a similar party in the park last week drew the attention of the governor and NYU school officials. The school sent a letter to students Friday saying in part, "We know how smart and caring our students are and that none of you want to intentionally put the larger NYU community and our NYC neighbors at risk. So avoid gatherings where people aren't wearing masks or distancing. Stay vigilant." But hours after that letter was sent, the party started. NYU also tells us that they've suspended more than 30 students so far because of safety and public health violations. The Parks Department also tells us they'll be sending out more people to help enforce the rules. Reporting live in Greenwich Village, Rana Novini, News 4 New York.
Just last night, crowds of young people gathered in Greenwich Village for what appeared to be a party. Video shows some not wearing masks, dancing, jumping, and singing with little regard to social distancing rules. Let's get right out to Richard GIACOVAS in Greenwich Village with the latest. Hey, Richard.
Hey, Dan, social distancing appears to have been a problem on college campuses since schools went back across the country a few weeks ago. But now it appears another large off-campus party, this time in Washington Square Park, less than a week after the governor warned students and school officials at one of the top schools in the country to pack up the rave or else. They seem to party even harder this time around. A tightly packed group of NYU students cramming into Washington Square Park Friday night, most of them without masks, but all of them singing and dancing in groups like a pandemic didn't even exist. But they did care once police arrived to break it all up.
The time is now 1:35 a.m. Washington Square Park is now closed.
Honestly, I think we've been stuck inside for so long. We deserve to have some fun. Look at this. Everyone's having so much fun.
But this wasn't the first time for fun in the park. Earlier this week, NYU suspended at least 20 students for violating coronavirus rules after Governor Andrew Cuomo put the university on blast for not breaking up the same type of gathering in the same park last weekend. But there are the students who don't agree with the partying and say this has to stop.
I'm here from outside of the U.S. and my country closed its borders, and if NYU closes down, I can't go back to my country, so I would practically have nowhere to live. So I'm hoping that people are respectful.
You know, we're here for our education, and that's something that we can't take for granted.
Just be patient, because a lot of people are too eager to get back into their social life, and that can kind of slow things down for everyone else.
That's what the students here are hoping does not happen. The mayor and the governor did not respond to our request for comments on this latest party, but it is Saturday night, and that's when last week's party happened. So this time was Friday, last week was Saturday. Could there be another one tonight? The students hope that does not happen here. We're live in Greenwich Village tonight. Richard GIACOVAS, Fox 5 News. Dan.
We'll find out, Richard. Thank you very much.
And disappointing.
Hundreds of people partied late night at Washington Square Park. Some wore masks, some didn't. You can see from the video that social distancing wasn't being followed. NYU students have been reprimanded about gatherings like these when the semester began. The university has investigated previous gatherings and took action. Nursing student Megan Trout was surprised some students were back at it.
I think that the suspensions are very fair. I think that NYU needs to hold their students accountable.
Camila Harden is not an NYU student and didn't see anything wrong with the celebration.
We've been stuck inside for so long. We deserve to have some fun. Like, look at this. Everyone's having so much fun. Like, this is not, like, this is harmless. Honestly, it's harmless. I love it, and I'm so happy I'm here to, like, experience it.
James Delano, a former student and musician, says people are tired of being held back.
This is what happens when you try and tie people down and hold them down and say, hey, you can't have fun, you can't come together, you can't gather. People find a way to do it.
At around 1:30 Saturday morning, the NYPD began to shut down the party.
Washington Square Park is now closed. Make your way to an exit.
They barricaded the entrances and then drove through the park trying to disperse the crowds. It took cops a while to clear everyone out. Freshman Parker Hara is hoping all students will realize parties like this are jeopardizing the semester and the health of their neighbors.
There have been a few cases of students being suspended as far as I know. I know there's definitely been a lot of controversy over that, over how harsh the penalties are, but I definitely support coming down on the people who are not following the rules and making it a dangerous environment for those of us who are here to follow the rules and be here as part of the community.
Yeah, and those penalties certainly are harsh. Students tell us those who get suspended lose their tuition, which could be tens of thousands of dollars. A request for comment from the university has not yet been returned. We're live at Washington Square Park tonight. Rob Hoyle, PIX11 News.